Okay, so in this video today, we're going to go over the basics that you need to know for constructing a warm-up. So our warm-up should always have a goal, and the goal typically is to prepare your athlete or yourself both mentally and physically for whatever exercise or competition that you're entering into. We always want to start our warm-up um, with a purpose, and then by the end of our warm-up, we should be locked into whatever we're going to do for that day. So the results of the warm-up, a proper warm-up, include an increase in the muscle and core temperature, and that results in better neural function. You can always tell when this is happening when you start to develop a little bit of a sweat. You know you're on the right track for a good warm up. And then increased blood flow in muscles and elevation of oxygen intake. So our warm up, at the end of our warm up, we should feel a little bit of sweat and glistening on our skin, and we should start to be breathing a little bit heavier. So an active warm-up versus a passive warm-up. Active warm-ups are looked at being much more superior than a passive warm-up. An active warm-up being we're moving back and forth, we're doing active movements, we're jogging, backpedaling, shuffling, jumping jacks, different things like that, versus a passive warm-up where we might be sitting or lying on the ground, stretching in place. And a good warm-up, a good active warm-up will increase that blood flow. Your heart rate and oxygen intake will increase, so we can feel our heart rates starting to increase. We start breathing heavier. We know that we're starting to get a good warm up in. So positive effects or the benefits of a warm up and a well developed warm up. We have faster muscle contraction and relaxation. This is really important, especially for athletics. We improve the rate of force development. We're able to produce more power. We improve our reaction time. We're able to react quicker. Our brain is working a lot more efficiently. We improve muscle strength and power. Research shows that with a proper warm-up, we are a lot stronger. Our muscles work a lot more efficiently. We improve oxygen delivery and blood flow. This is super important for every sport, that our oxygen and blood flow is efficient so that we can recover quicker in between bouts of exercise or sprints in a sport that we're playing. And then an increase in psychological preparedness for performance. A good warm-up should get us locked in mentally to what we're doing. At the end of a good warm-up, we should feel psychologically prepared for whether it's our sport or what we're going to do in the gym that day, or if we're going for a run. We should be able to cut everything else out, all those distractions, and be completely locked in on what we're doing right after our warm-up. So good components of a warm-up. We want to increase that heart rate, increase that body temperature, increase the blood flow and muscle temperature and respiration through some kind of aerobic movement, meaning, your cardio movements, whether it's a jog, we're skipping, we're biking, we're doing jumping jacks, or we're just moving through some different body weight movements at a little bit of a higher tempo so that we can start getting a little bit out of breath and start sweating a little bit. We move that into a specific warm-up to where we're going to start incorporating things that we're going to do in the weight room or on the field. So, if we're playing basketball, we're going to start shuffling in our warm-up. If we're playing baseball, we might sprint and then move into a shuffle. If we're in the weight room and we're going to squat that day, we will be doing some hip and knee warm-up specific things. We have started doing some body weight squats, so we move that movement pattern and get that warmed up prior to that lift for the day. So our warm-up should always start very general, but then move into specifics for whatever that plan is for that session. And then the length of the warm-up. A solid warm-up should be 10 to 20 minutes. For your class warm-up that you'll be giving, 5 to 10 minutes. For a good training session, when we're in the weight room or if we're going to go on a run, if we're outside doing a field session, should be a little closer to 10 minutes. But before a competition, We want to make sure that we get a solid warm up and hit everything and all components of the warm up. So that's a good time to get a longer warm up in. So closer to 20 minutes of length for a good warm up like that. So here's a solid warm up to work through on your own next time you're in the weight room or out on the field doing a workout. We start with something that's going to get our heart rate elevated. Then we start moving through some different movement patterns to open up our hips and our shoulders. And then we finish with some little bit of stretching worked into that warm up.